Welcome back to the channel. This is yet another warning not to take your legal advice from TikTok, unless it's in the form of guidance from me, of course. So I found a video, actually I was tagged in a video yesterday, about speeding tickets, to say that you should always challenge it in court, and half the time or most of the time the police officer won't turn up and therefore the case will get dismissed. This is terrible advice. So welcome back, I am the Black Belt Barrister helping you to understand law. So the best guidance is don't speed. But if you have been speeding and you've been caught and you know you've been speeding and you've been caught for speeding, it's very unlikely that you're going to find a technicality to get out of it. There are some cases where you might be able to do that and you might be able to challenge the calibration of the equipment and so on and so forth, but as I said on the TikTok response, believe it or not, the magistrates and the district judges have seen it and heard it all before. Whilst technically, yes, there needs to be evidence to corroborate the fact that you were speeding at the alleged time, but in almost all cases, this is going to be solid against you, and if you challenge it in court unsuccessfully, it's very likely that you're going to get a much more serious penalty than you did in the first instance. A fixed penalty is only going to attract 3 points and a £100 fine. If you go to court and the court takes the view that actually a fixed penalty wasn't really severe enough, but it was just the opportunity for you to avoid the prosecution in the first place, the court might up that to 6 points, and obviously you'll get prosecution costs against you. This can be extremely detrimental if you're within the first 2 years of driving, because if you clock up 6 points, not 12, but 6 within the first 2 years of driving, your driving license is going to be revoked or withdrawn, as well as the costs against you. The other thing that this video said is that the police officers almost never turn up. Well, that's not really the case either, because there are many cases where the police officers certainly do turn up if they think that you're trying to be cheeky and challenge the ticket in court against you. But also, it's not absolutely mandatory that they turn up. If the evidence is strong enough and there's more than one bit of corroborating evidence, then they don't even need to turn up. It can be in their absence if the magistrates believe that the evidence is strong enough against you. So as I said at the outset of the video, the best advice, and you can take this bit as advice, is don't speed and don't break the law. You should stay within the speed limit. But there was one such case that might be fruitful to challenge in the news just recently, where a chap received a speeding ticket when he could prove that he was driving under the speed limit. And I think from the news article it turned out that this machine was not calibrated properly, and it was quite obvious that it wasn't calibrated properly, and that could on the one hand be dealt with by communicating with the police, or you could challenge that one in court. But as I say, every case turns on its own merits, and you should always seek formal legal advice, not following someone on TikTok who is blindly telling you to challenge every ticket that you receive on the basis that it'll probably be dismissed. Because in most cases that's not going to happen, and if you go to court and you challenge it unsuccessfully, you are going to get a more severe penalty than you had in the first place. So as always, this can only be taken as guidance, but the best advice is don't speed. Please give this video a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and thanks for watching.